Okay, right. I'm going to review my TV, finally. I've had it about a couple of months now, well, about 2 months exactly. And at that time, I attempted to do an unboxing video, which was a complete waste of time. Basically popped open, realised that I was going to break it probably by taking it out of the box or whatever, so cancelled that. Uploaded the video to YouTube anyway, and yeah, I got like 8,000 views, even though I put on it that it was an unboxing fail of this TV. It was basically me staring at the box, and yeah, I just cancelled it, uploaded it anyway. But I've had like a lot of comments on the video, mostly angry people, like saying this isn't an unboxing, and angry saying the best one was that is just a box, there is no TV. And I'm like, I think it's probably that guy that has forced my hand, because eventually I was like, I'm not going to bother making an actual review of the TV. Mostly because I've got other things I could be doing, but I've thought, I've had it long enough that I feel like I could give like an honest opinion of it. Not like a company having it in their test room for like a couple of hours, or some guys had it for one day and is like, it's the best TV ever, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. So I'll be honest, I'll like show like as much of the TV as possible. I'll talk about what's good, what's bad, and yeah, just give you a closer look at it. So let's have a look at it as it is. Now, by the way, this place is a mess, but who cares? I'm not going to polish or what. Right, so the LG OLED 55B6V. Let us say, excuse, it's a bit dusty here, but who cares? Right, so as you can see, you've got the plinth there. Jesus, that really is dusty. Look at that. God almighty. Okay, right. Quite a solid base on the TV. You've got your OLED logo there, a nice touch. The dust is not included. That's an added extra, an extra £100 for that. You've got your LG floating logo. You've got it's basically a floating design, which is like a thick, sturdy bit of, like, almost like plexiglass. It gives the illusion that the TV is floating, which it isn't. But yeah, worryingly, when I took it out of the box after that infamous unboxing video, this bit here was like jutting up, and I thought, is that part of the design? No, it was just like almost, I don't know if it was poor workmanship or damaged in transit, but I had to like properly bang that base back into place so that it looks how it is now. So there you go, it's a floating glass design. Obviously this is a 55-inch OLED TV, HDR, Dolby Vision, Ultra HD Premium, well, obviously OLED. So that's like the physical design of it. What I will say, I mean, obviously it's with being OLED, it's just crazy thin. As you can see on the edge there. It's amazing. By the way, ignore the vision of hell. The vision of hell. Look at that. See, OCD tidy freaks. Like, I even had a comment from a guy that was like, Jesus, you really need cable tidies. Yeah, I do. The reason I'm back here, obviously just to show you the back of it, but mainly this is the main HDMI ports. I think they're positioned awful. They're so close to the side of the TV that I've basically had to buy this cable clip here just so that when I'm sitting front on for the TV, the HDMI cable isn't like sticking away out here, which it would do if it wasn't clipped down. I think it's a terrible, terrible design and should be further back or in the middle at least. So definitely a gripe for me, but obviously not an actual deal breaker. So there you go. That's like me talking about the actual physical design of the TV. Obviously it looks incredible. One thing I will mention, by the way, and not a lot of people know this, is that this TV has a feature called, I think it's pixel shift. Sorry, where you might, people again with OCD might notice that there's a slightly fatter edge here compared to the rest of the TV. That changes. The whole TV image will move slightly every now and again. I think it's something to do with image retention and ghosting. It moves the entire image on the screen a few pixels so that if you're watching anything with fixed logos or stuff, it doesn't burn in. Because I've since recently found that with OLED TVs, the burn-in is a bigger issue than especially some of the newer LED TVs. I think Samsung actually guarantee for like 10 years or something against burn-in, like properly will come and replace the TV. LG do nothing of the sort. Basically they say like if you get burn-in then that's your fault pretty much. So they try to counteract it with pixel shift, but right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick on this is Sky Q, by the way. People in the UK might recognise it, people outside the UK probably won't, but it's like a premium satellite TV service here. Fairly new, well, not even really new, but they've recently introduced a new Ultra HD service. So what I'll do is I'll stick something on and I'll have that on in the background so that it'll be difficult to sort of appreciate the picture, but at least it will give you a rough idea. I was toying with the idea of sticking on like a 4K HDR Blu-ray, but again, what's the point really? It's like when you're watching it, when you're recording it on a phone, uploading it to YouTube, you're losing a lot of the picture quality and stuff, so I decided against it. I'll if only you could, if I could do a viewer's vote or something. Paul Blart, anybody? No? You sure? I don't know what to do. SpongeBob? Nah, let's go with Chappie. UHD. Fantastic film, by the way. Again, right, set up to, I've already set this up on UHD, but continue. Confirm. Home. Right, anyway, this is getting to be more of a talking about Sky Q than the actual TV. Right, so what I will say, right, back to the TV. When I first bought it, I wasn't blown away, I'll be honest with you. Mainly because I didn't have any 4K sources for the TV. I didn't have Sky Q at the time. I didn't have a 4K Blu-ray player. In fact, that is the most recent addition to my setup. Those with a keen eye might notice the Xbox One S sitting there, which is brand new. In fact, I've found out that it's actually a limited edition version, like you've got the 2TB one. Only reason I got it, well, main reason I got it, I'd say, is for the 4K Blu-rays and HDR and stuff. See you later. So yeah, you've got your Xbox One S there. Right, some of you might be asking, what is the bizarre stand thing? That's actually just like a disc, a cork, sitting under the Xbox One S. The reason being is that that's the Denon AVRX 2200W, by the way. Again, excuse the dust, because Jesus Christ, I really need to take a dust out of this. Yeah, so you've got your Denon AVRX 2200 there. Is it going to focus? Yeah. Anyway, so that basically superheats the glass above it, like that thin bit of glass. I only noticed it when I got the Xbox One S, that it sounded really loud, and it's because it was sitting on a panel with superheated glass. So what I've decided to do, it's a bit low tech, but stick a bit of cork under there, which is a brilliant insulator, and yeah, it's made a huge difference. Is it worth that? We'll talk about everything else. That's a SkyQ unit. You've got your PS4, which I've stuck a 2TB hard drive into. Phone. You've got your Mission MX3 floor stand and speakers, because it's a 7.1 setup. I just say this because just in case folk aren't aware, anybody's watching this that isn't aware of my setup, I've got the two floor standers. You've got your Boston Acoustic Soundware XS subwoofer. You've also got another 4 speakers set up here because it's 7.1. These speakers are quite small, but they're powerful. They're 100 watts RMS each. You've got your Cambridge Audio, like super chunky, good speaker wire. So yeah, it's full 7.1. But anyway, right. Right, back to the TV. So when I first bought it, the picture wasn't amazing. Like I say, I didn't have any 4K sources, so being able to, like, a few weeks after actually buying the TV, to like sit down and watch like 4K HDR Blu-rays and like watching football in 4K and stuff like that. Okay, so here's Chappie in 4K. Like watching the sport when I first bought it, I thought out of the box the settings were not great, I'll be honest with you. So what it was, I'm on like a forum thing for it, and there was a guy there, Steve, can't quite remember his name, but I've basically calibrated the TV to all his settings. He went like through everything with a fine tooth comb. I'll show you exactly what happens when you bring the menu up. This is the remote control for it, by the way. The LG Magic Remote is basically like a Bluetooth sort of, I don't know, but it works like with a magic pointer thing. So like if I press menu, if you look at the screen, when I'm pointing it, I'll try to get both on the screen here, you'll notice like where I point you get the, I've changed it to a ridiculous bird thing, by the way, but that it's basically a pointer. So what I'll do is go into settings. This is going to be difficult to, like, the hand-eye coordination between me using the remote control and pointing a camera is, let's just say awkward, like. Okay, so here's your picture mode, which is a quick flick between them. ISF Expert Dark Room is what I have it on the vast majority of the time. Again, there's 2 settings that have been calibrated. You've got that, you've got Vivid, you've got Standard User, Eco, Cinema, Sport, which is awful, Game, which is really important for me because I play PS4 and Xbox One S all the time, Photo, which is pointless, HDR Effect, pointless, and I've got this for when it's bright during the day, which is arguable whether it's bright, and I'd say it's quite overcast, so I keep it on dark room the vast majority of the time, mostly because I'm out at work most of the day anyway. You've got aspect ratio here, sound, which obviously mine goes through the Denon, the 7.1 or 5.1 because I'm watching Sky, sleep timer and all that stuff. So anyway, we'll go into all settings, and here's what you'll see when you bring up the whole menu. It's just a more sort of detailed version of what was before, because before it was just sort of like the basic quick settings, where here you've got well, it's just the same again, but if you want to, you can go in here and calibrate everything, your aspect ratio, energy saving, OLED panel settings, and sound. Honestly, I don't touch any of it. A lot of it, I don't know. Mine's is wired in network wise, so I don't need to worry about networking it. All I use the TV for is playing games. I don't like hook computers or phones or anything. And obviously I use Netflix, Amazon, and YouTube on it all the time, which work in 4K, by the way, straight out of the box on the TV, which I'll show you just now actually. So that's your picture, that's your advanced sound options, that's what's programs. Again, pointless for me because I used the SkyQ. Your network name, general settings, safety, accessibility. Anyway, I'm running the risk of this getting quite boring, so I'm consciously aware that I should maybe speed things up a bit. Let's say I use Netflix quite a lot. You've got LG content search, you've got YouTube, Netflix, Amazon, Now TV. It's important to remember this is a UK model, because internationally this will be completely different. BBC iPlayer, Wuaki, right, ITV, all four, web browser, music, recording, multi-view, accessibility. Anywho, so that gives you a quick idea. Honestly, like 90% of that stuff, I never use it. I never use it. So it's up to you whether you find any of that useful. You can reshuffle that all, by the way, because that's LG WebOS 3, which is widely considered to be the best smart TV interface. You got a lot of Android TVs these days, but yeah, there's a lot of the experts don't think it's anywhere near as good as the LG WebOS 3, and I tend to agree. So that's that. Right, let's say, I mean, I don't know how much you can appreciate the picture. Let's say that's Sky 4K, so it's basically, it's nowhere near as good. Like I watched this on, this isn't HDR, by the way, this is just 4K. I've got the 4K HDR Blu-ray, and it's absolutely mind-blowing, literally. So, but I mean, you can still get a rough idea. That's a good picture by any stretch of the imagination. Whether it comes across on my phone, I'm using my phone, by the way, the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge, so it's a good camera, but I'm not sure how much it does it justice. Right, anyway, I'm going to try and wrap things up, because that's nearly 20 minutes. What I will say, problem-wise, I've had a lot of problems. How much of it is down to the TV, I don't know. It's difficult to say, but let's say, like, tons of times I've had it come up as no signal, and I've had to, like, take cables out. I've changed cables. I've got a bad problem with PS4 where the screen would just go black, like randomly. The screen would just go completely black, like cut off. Just PS4. And what I found is I had to, again, I was trying new cables, I was trying everything, and eventually I had to go into PS4 and turn off a setting called, is it Deep Colour? Turned that off, and that seems to have worked, because I had to check forums and stuff to see what the potential problem might be. So I will say, in between it being a bit fussy with content, losing the picture, there was a whole day basically I couldn't get SkyQ to come on the TV. But I don't know how much of it is to do with the actual TV, because everything, the SkyQ is new, you've got the Denon thing which is fairly new, everything's all fairly new, and like them all talking to each other, all the different boxes is I don't know. It's hard to tell, but that's pretty much it. Like I say, I'll wrap it up by saying that I'll actually adore the TV, like adore it. What Hi-Fi finally done a review on it in the past couple of days, and it's a solid 5-star, glowing review, reinforces everything that I've said about the TV. I absolutely adore it. It cost me £2,600, new when it was only a couple of weeks old on the market. It was £2,800. It was meant to be, but I got a discount on it. You can now buy it for £2,500, slightly less than I got it, but it's held its value well, and will do, because LG's totally dominates the LED market, so they don't have any competition and there's no real reason to reduce the price. I think the money that I paid for it at £2,600 is actually a bargain. A lot of people think it's a lot of money, but the TV is, well, it's as good as it gets. Basically, you'll get, oh, are you, oh, sorry, I just had to reject a call there. What an absolute joke. The timing of that. Right, anyway, so hopefully this is still recording. That's kind of that. Christ, I've got a call trying to come through on my phone. The timing of that is unbelievable. But yeah, let's say LG have bigger TVs. They all have the same panel. Like the top of the range TV has the exact same panel. All that's different is you got a better, it looks slightly differently, and it's got a sound base on it, the bigger panel, but that's the only difference. So this is basically the best picture money can buy, and it's amazing, like watching films and knowing that it's basically as good as it gets, especially when you're watching 4K HDR Blu-rays. I will say one other thing, gaming is amazing on it. Obviously you get perfect contrast ratios, but the input lag isn't as good as some LEDs. Like some LED TVs have slightly lower input lag, but because I'm not a competitive gamer, it doesn't bother me. You know, I think it's about 33 or 34 milliseconds for this panel, which for me is perfectly acceptable. Again, I'm not like a Call of Duty player or anything like that where these split seconds actually matter. So yeah, that's kind of that. Like I say, I will say it's amazing for gaming, apart from the fact that with the PS4 it was cutting out. And is there anything else worth saying? No, that's pretty much that. Like I say, as it stands right now, it's pretty much the best TV money can buy. I've had a lot of problems, but I'm not sure how much it is down to the TV, lots of lossy signals. But let's say if you go onto AV forums or whatever and get it calibrated properly to how you want it to look, then that's it can look incredible. By the way, usually you'll find turning off all of the picture processing, turn off all the motion settings, turn off all of that stuff is a word of advice, because all it does is degrade the picture actually. Turn off all of that type of stuff and just let it do its thing naturally without any bells or whistles or vivids or super flow motions or anything like that. Just let it do its thing, just let it breathe, let it naturally, spend some time with it, and yes, it's absolutely incredible. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, this review. Hopefully people appreciated this. It's I'm sorry I've waffled on a bit, that's like close to 25 minutes, but I'll wrap it up. So anybody that decides to watch this, thank you, and yeah, see you later, goodbye.